We're proud to have partnered with Africa Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum Conference as the host city of such a significant business gathering during this period where we're gearing towards restarting and reigniting tourism.
Seven years ago, we held our first AWIEF conference in Lagos with a certain amount of apprehension but great anticipation, because we were firmly convinced of the dire need to address the gender gap, especially in emerging economies, and to create greater economic inclusivity for women.
If I could just use Nedbank's support and partnering with AWIEF as a typical example. This is a classic example of how we would partner with a platform within which an organization has the relevant support mechanisms in place to be able to facilitate that process for whatever the limitations are that an SME is unable to access or get easy access to finance.
You know, transformation and inclusion doesn't happen with great big grand gestures. It happens with conversations around the coffee table with somebody who has a barrier that you want to enable and remove.
The fourth industrial revolution is here. We all have to work towards that and work together collectively.
You know, as COVID has disrupted the way we do things, what we study, the future of work, it's also opened up opportunities, I think, for me.
You know, when the world doesn't give you leaders, you just have to stand up and become one.
The empowerment of all women and girls is not only a goal in itself, it's actually a prerequisite for the attainment of all the other sustainable development goals.
Today, there are three words in any strategy you're doing with a development partner. It's inclusive, it's green, it's digital. These are three words, and inclusion here are inclusion of youth and women.
I guess I wanted also to emphasize that the role of the African Development Bank, we see gender as the core of our work and our mandate. We are following closely with our regional member countries to achieve the SDG.
Which is why, from an ITC perspective, we are looking at this from the broader perspective of how do we support women to make sure that they get more and more integrated into the economic activities and are able to contribute. Because
our agenda is agriculture and food systems transformation, and we're looking at inclusive ag transformation, inclusive food systems transformation across the continent. We believe that there's no way that the food systems transformation is going to be achieved without the involvement of women.
Agriculture, food systems are very, very critical for women in Africa. And at the same time, women are very critical for agriculture and food systems in Africa.
So really critical to continue to think about the things that hold us back, issues around access to finance.
We need political will to say, as a government, we want to have gender responsive budgeting. So for every rand, every dollar that I spend as a government, I should be accountable and say, this is how much I'm spending on women and girls.
We are not the only force working to shift these inequities. The reality is, women cannot alone. We need allies all over the system because it's a system issue.